Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to all. Welcome back. Um, Happy Tuesday. I know there are many of us still rolling in, so what we can do is just say a little hello. We already have some greetings coming in the chat. So at the bottom of your Zoom screen or in the comments on YouTube, you can type a little hello, a little good morning, or maybe early morning or afternoon, depending on where you're calling in from, and share where you're coming from. My name is Antoinette, and we are here for our weekly Women Together Connect. We actually had a week gap last week, but it is wonderful to be together again. So just seeing everybody coming in, where we're all coming from. I see Winchester, Massachusetts, Sarasota, Boston, Ossining, New York, Chile, Idaho, Vermont, Irvington, New York, St. Pete Beach, Florida, West Palm Beach, Florida, North Dakota, Chicago. Wonderful. Sweden, Philadelphia, Wisconsin, Long Island, New York, Switzerland. Wonderful. So we're all coming together from all of our different people and places. Beautiful. Tuesday, 2/22/22. Oh yes, 2/22/22. I didn't pick up on that. Thanks for sharing. Wonderful. So that is definitely, I love that Grace Ann says it's so special to be meeting on the energy of the portal of 2022. So that's where we are. It's wonderful to be together. Lots of twos. And yeah, it really is just this time to reconnect with each other, reconnect with ourselves, and just land in this space. So the Women Together community, we've been coming together week after week, whether you are brand new or this is a regular every week. I see many familiar faces. So it's just wonderful to be together. We've been developing this community and just getting more and more connected, bringing friends and sisters in to this community as we grow. And we have wonderful teachers who have been coming to be with us every week, which is just such a gift. It's such a gift for these wonderful teachers to be coming. And we have Rulan, who I will introduce again to you all. Many of you may remember Rulan has been with us before, and it's just wonderful to have this practice. Often, we find that many of us go to a retreat or another place of some kind, or we take a week or we take a few days just to kind of land and be in our bodies. And we have this practice. I know many of you have your own practice and you do this on your own. And to come together, it does two things. One is it invites us into tiny practices. So instead of saying that we need to do something out there or, a month from now, or, someday I will, blah, blah, blah. It's actually taking that practice into our daily lives. So it's giving us a 20-minute practice, and sometimes we do much shorter ones, just to allow us to be in the body and be just reconnected. Sometimes just a little realignment. Sometimes I do it right before a meeting, just realign where I am, where I'm sitting, what I'm doing here on planet Earth, and just connecting to the vertical aspect of my being. And often we spend so much time here, in the Zoom room, but just kind of leaning into the person that's in front of us or what's happening around us. Or we spend a lot of time escaping what's happening, just kind of floating out of body. And what I'm so excited about today is Rulan joining us and sharing her incredible take on these embodiment practices. So we will turn to that in a moment, but for right now, an invitation is to just settle. The other part of our work together is to reconnect with ourselves first and then with each other. So after our practice, we will have the opportunity to go into breakout rooms. And that is where the magic happens, because it's one thing when we do it on our own, in our own little place. And I just have arm warmers on. It's nothing's wrong with my arm, just saw the chat. But thank you. So just reminder that, what oftentimes we get into our own little place and we forget how to connect with each other. And I've noticed this a lot as I start to come into in-person connection with people, that we've found so many ways to stay connected that we've almost forgotten how to actually connect with another human being. So this is an opportunity, just a reminder that we can do this, and these connect moments allow us to remember that. So with all of that said, let's just land in the body here together. So if you can get your feet down on the ground, just feel the connection of the feet to the earth. And I'd like to take a moment to just allow the earth to hold us. And as we sit or stand here, just taking a moment to acknowledge the people who may have come before us on this land. Who may have cultivated this place. And just for a moment, feeling our ancestors with us, whoever that may be. Tuning into the breath, feeling the movement of the breath, not just in and out, but up and down. When you're ready, you can return your connection to the screen with your eyes. Perhaps just pick a couple of boxes or maybe 4 boxes on the Zoom screen, and just from this place with your ancestors at your back, with the land holding and supporting, just welcoming these few women who you may see in the boxes on the Zoom screen. And if you don't have your video on, you can try and get it on, but just taking a look at who's here and welcoming them with our eyes, welcoming them with our bodies, just taking in the full presence. I find that we miss the experience of walking towards each other, saying hello. Oh, look who's here. So just having that moment. Oh, look who's here. A little hello and a warm, warm welcome. Allowing ourselves to see and to be seen. Wonderful. Once you've done that, you could take a moment to type into the chat a little hello, and maybe what brought you here today to our Women Together time. What brought you here today to our conversation with Rulan, and to what Rulan calls the flowering way, which I am excited to learn more about, but the flowering way. Wonderful. The need for movement. The title is so beautiful. We missed last week. Glad to be here again. I believe all gathering of women are sacred and rebellious. Thank you, Rulan. Yes. Connecting with other women, curiosity, reconnecting to the beauty in movement. Spending precious time. Thank you, Joan, for that reminder. Stressed and need the sanity of this group. Sherry, please stop skipping weeks. Got it. Longing. I wish to be involved with movement. Together time. Need to connect with like-minded women. Wonderful. Yes, there are so many good reasons that we come together. Folding this moment of openness into my practice has brought me here again and again. Wonderful. Weekly play date. I'm ready to flower. Thank you, Eileen. Yes, seems a wonderful way to turn it over to you, Rulan, and maybe just a reminder to everyone or to share for those of you who may not have been with Rulan before. Rulan is an incredible movement, an embodied human. Let's just put it that way. But she has been evolving embodied knowledge of diverse cosmologies, which can become functional ritual for transformation, healing, and to integrate concurrent universes of ancient futurities in the moment of now. I love that. And express energetic connection with all relations, human and beyond. She's the founding artistic director and choreographer of Dancing Earth. She has passionately cultivated successive generations of Indigenous and intercultural contemporary performing artists as cultural ambassadors and conduits for social change. She has received the 2018 Kennedy Center Citizen Artist Award for service, justice, freedom, courage, and gratitude. And she has just been moving, shaking, and stomping the world into renewal. And so that's who we have with us here today. Rulan, you are so welcome here. Thank you so much for joining and being with us and sharing your practice with us. It really just means so much. So for now, I turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Antoinette. You started us so beautifully with the grounding of our feet on ancestral homelands. I'm on unoccupied Tewa lands of Ogapoge. And as I said, when women come together, it's always sacred and hopefully a little rebellious too. So I think of our time together as a short ritual. And so we want to place ourselves in the time we're in right now. We're actually in a waning moon, so we're going to interlace our fingers and create a crescent moon to one side. I'm going to do it sitting down because we're going to start sitting. A crescent moon, and then up to the other side. Just feeling that sway. As women, we are connected to the moon through many cosmologies, and science eventually catches up with that as well. The waning moon means we can let go of things. So we're going to take one big scoop and just let go. Brushing, 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 brushing. And I like to do a little shake to let go. I'm going to bring myself over and up, shake out my legs, just kind of feel that silliness of movement. Sometimes people can get self-conscious about moving. I can't see anything without my glasses, and my glasses just fell off. I can see a general blur of people, women moving together. This waxing moon is under the astrological sign of Pisces, which is ancestral waters. So we're going to move to one hand on heart and one hand on belly and recover the breath that Antoinette had given us, but this time we're going to allow ourselves to feel the water of our bodies. So at one moment the heart might be ahead of the belly, which is our compassion, and another moment our belly, which is our instinct, our guts, our different life force. So sometimes we lead with our heart, sometimes with our belly, and we're going to let our head, our mind, just go along with the ride. We are accessing knowledge that comes through our body, ways of knowing in the world that transcend words. Feeling those ancestral waters, those ancient waters in the belly, connecting us to the moon, connecting us to the sign of Pisces. And as was spoken, we have an incredible icon of twos. So we can take our right hand and draw a two with the bottom, with the palm open. There'll be a reason for that. And then we're going to mirror the other two, the other side. So we're going to create the mirror of that. And putting those together, this gives us reciprocity in motion. What does that mean? That means we're going to start at the top, curve down, and open up our palms, representing receiving, inhaling. We receive oxygen. Exhale, give back carbon dioxide. This puts us into reciprocity with the world of the plants and trees. We are giving them carbon dioxide, they are giving us the oxygen. With these double twos that look like a heart, when we put them together, that's right, we're making a beautiful heart shape. Leading with love. There's so much going on in this world right now. I wonder what it would be like if this rebellion was led by love, and I look to you as women to bring that forward. Where do we learn how to do that? We're going to learn from the plant world. Today we're learning from, I meditated early in the morning, and what is the beautiful flower that came? It is dandelion. So we are learning from the dandelion. The dandelion has incredible roots, so we're going to bring our knees together. The dandelion has roots that are widespread, so you can stretch out one leg and bring it back, and then the other leg. So the roots are widespread. The roots look for water and they bring it back to the source, reminding us of groundedness, but also of the power of migrations, seasonal migrations, generational migrations. The ancestor of the dandelion came from before the Ice Age in Eurasia. And when it landed here, the native peoples recognized right away the great medicines of the dandelion. It has a lot of healing powers, as well as the ability to bring joy. And like many powerful women's medicines, it's called a weed. It is devalued, so I think women experience that as well. Let's slide our knees open, and our feet are getting a sensual touch of the ground that we're on. Your ground might be made of wood, but if you peeled away the story of the wooden floor, it was once a tree. And as we go side to side, there can be a beautiful, the head following the body, not leading, and it might make a slight figure eight, which connects us to water. Water is what the roots look for. The roots of the dandelion, there's a deep taproot. That's the main sort of bulbous root. And there's a very interesting thing about dandelions that we can learn from. We're learning from a teacher that is beyond human. I'm going to ask you to slide your right butt cheek onto your chair, and we're going to now extend behind us, opening up this space right here that tends to get cramped from so much sitting. And then we can bring that knee up, leaning back, so we can see the sky, and then slide behind us, see the ground. Like plants, we are vessels of water, poised between underground and sky world. So this taproot that the dandelion has goes deep down into the ground, and it pulls up nutrients, and it takes those nutrients and it shares them with other plants. So many women I know are so generous in sharing of the gifts that they have or the gifts that they receive, giving so much. So like the dandelion, we take resources to share with others. Let's come back through the center again, find our figure eight with our head, leaning into that curious foot that leads us to water and to resources. And then we'll slide that left gluteus onto the chair, and we're going to allow the direction behind us with that rooting. So again, the dandelion came from ancient times, from faraway places to land here and bring gifts of good medicine to the peoples here who recognized those wonderful qualities that, like women, are devalued at times. Thought of as not as important because it's just a plant, it's a weed, let's get rid of it. Let's not value it at its fullest. So we're going to bring ourselves back up to the center. kind of on the front half of my chair. We're going to use from roots, we're going to move to a little rocking, and I'm going to lift up my feet. So this rocking is again like the water's in our body, and it's to prepare us to stand up. So we're looking down at the ground, and then we're going to arch. My bottom is off my chair. We're going to arch, and we're going to not quite sit down. I'm going to curve again, sit down. We're going to come feet up, feet down, look at the ground, arch up, look at the ground again, and sit back. This is just preparing our hips, warming up our hips to get us standing. And maybe we're up on this one, coming up to our standing position. Beautiful. So dandelions are a great sign of resilience in the springtime. So here we are. We're going to try that same position that we did, knees bent without the chair, curving and arching up. Now this position reminds me a bit of our four-legged friends. Again, teachers that are beyond human. When we come to the water, we see ourselves, and then we take in that water and we become that water. So we're just finding a scooping up, a hollowing out. You can see my body's making almost a seed shape here. Then I arch forward, and at the top of it, I'm stretching the front of my hips. So it's got a nice counterbalance to the sitting. And it really emphasizes our inhale and exhale again. Very healthy for the spine. The spine is one of those places where I feel so much ancestral knowledge that defies reason and logic. So here we are with our standing up, and our feet are on the ancestral lands, and we want to come in a good way, bring the gifts that we have to nourish this land. And so we're going to reach down to our roots, even if we don't know what they are, reaching with the left hand, the side of our heart. The right arm comes up to the ribs and extends up to the sky, reminding us that even if we are not connected to all of our ancestors, all of life on earth, you can recover, comes from stardust. So many of our peoples come from creation stories connected to the sky, extending the arm and coming down. So this is what we had before science. Science caught up and said, oh my goodness, all of life on earth is created from carbon that comes from dying stars. So there's many more poetic ways to tell that story so that they can be remembered. So we're doing our reach down to the earth, our reach up to the sky, reminding us of our ancestors of the sky that connect us all as relatives, so that we too can have a place of belonging and be in humbleness, like the humble dandelion. What do we have to give? What do we have to be in reciprocity with this land that we're on, with the water that we carry? And with a nice wide stance, with our legs wide like a mountain, imagining that from the waist down, these are our roots, and from the waist up, we are coming up through to make our dandelion shape. Extended palms, stretching those palms. This is dynamic tension. You can actually push the ground away, engage your kneecaps so your thighs are strong. You can create distance between your hips and ribs. Dynamic tension. Often we experience stress as something we don't want, but we can use dynamic tension to feel longer and stronger. Let's bring it up to the top and then slide it down to feel good on the body. A dynamic tension, and rest at the bottom, then that beautiful round dandelion shape, those tiny little petals reflecting the sun rays, and coming down through the stalk, down through the roots. Two more. Inhale, that dynamic, joyous dandelion that everyone is so happy to see. Sliding down, and last one. Grounding down to our roots. Beautiful. So now let's open up our palms, and actually let's flare out our fingers again. We're going to bend our knees this time, and we're going to arc towards the left, like we've got a big heavy dandelion head here. Just finding the spherical world that your torso can create rather than the linear up and down. And it can be very, very small, as long as you can understand circle in your body, because this connects you to the cosmos, the circling of planets, the cycle of water becoming air and condensation, the cycle of the moon becoming full, becoming dark. And then, like the dandelion, we take our gifts and we, you've seen dandelions when you blow, right? So there's that blow, and then all of those little seeds sprinkle and they create new communities. So we're going to have our blow, breath of life, and then from the top of our head, just letting them gently, softly come down to the ground as far as you can go. I'm going to see if I can get to the ground. Oh yes, okay. All right, and then again, breath, and letting those little fluffy dandelions come to make new community, whether that's your life as a teacher or a mother or a community organizer or an artist. Your influence is beyond your own self, impacting others. One more time. And this time we're going to bring it to the front and back of our body. A little twist. Can't quite make it to the ground on this one. So this is a reminder of the everyday magic. The dandelions that like it. Just, you might not even notice them, but they're going to be coming up soon. They are a sign of resilience, the return of springtime after hard times. Beautiful. And then, as our ritual, a quick recap. We started with remembering that we're meeting at a time of the waning moon, creating a cradle, that waning moon. It's happening at a time of the ancestral sign of Pisces, the ancient waters. And this time you might pick up one leg and the other with a watery walk. You might find yourself wanting to walk forward and back or around yourself. Feeling that water in your body and your feet landing on the ground with the softness of dandelion petals or dandelion frond. What are they even called? Dandelion fluff. We also experience the reciprocity of the two shape, the mirrored two shape, like long neck swans, inhaling and exhaling, receiving and giving back, receiving and giving back. From there, we've experienced the rooting. From standing up, you can bend your knees, root one leg, sliding it forward, coming it back, bringing it back. The widespread rooting, the power of migrations, the power of being recognized. Let's go to the side. Recognized for one's gifts. Side squat. Having something to give in reciprocity to the land that you're on. And then the leg behind, the deep taproot that finds nutrients and shares them with others. Coming back to the squat, the other side. A taproot of generosity. And back to the squat. Walking the feet in. Sliding between underground and sky world. Connected to all our relations. And dynamic tension. Shining like the sun. And giving and receiving. So what we give out to the world, we also receive that good medicine inside ourselves. And one last circling. And the other direction, circling. And then breath. Again, a migration, this time in the air. Giving our gifts with humbleness. Even if we're called weeds, we have a lot of gifts to give. front and back. And bring yourself to standing, open palms, taking in the power of the dandelion, our great teacher who connects us to wind, to earth, to sky, and to each other as humble women, being generous, coming together, making new communities. I thank you so much for your time today and for this beautiful ritual of togetherness. Hope it brings you some inspiration for this day, for this year to come.
Wonderful, Rulan. Absolutely fantastic. I feel like we just need to land. Rulan, thank you so much for that beautiful inspiration and practice. Just would like to invite us to land here and just be for a moment. Just be. We've been moving and doing and kind of rolling through all of this. Risa just said delicious movement. So Rulan, thank you so much. And what I'd love to do is just invite us to take a breath together. Just exhale everything out. Feel the tingling in the body. Inhale. Just feel for a moment the difference between when you started today and where you are right now. And how good it feels to move. So for about 20 minutes, we're going to go into a short conversation with each other and just share with one another. What was that like for you? What came up? For me, being in dandelion, what that meant, just feeling the full effect of what spring is bringing and what's coming in the seasons and what's happening in the body and this sort of unlock. But just sharing what's coming up for you. And we can start with your name, where you're coming from. But the invitation here might be to take a breath before you shift partners. So we're really giving each other the gift of listening. And as we do that, just taking a breath together and seeing how we move from one person to the other and how we're moving after this movement, how we move in conversation. So I invite you to enjoy the time together. We'll see you back here in about 20 minutes.